Welcome back to another episode of Trading Secrets. Today we are joined again by Bachelor Nation fan favorite, content creator, and recent New York Fashion Week model, Kelsey Anderson. Earlier this summer, Kelsey joined us on Trading Secrets with her fiance, Joey Graziadei, to discuss their experience on The Bachelor and what life together was going to look like. Since then, Kelsey has had a very busy summer, including several different lucrative business opportunities that are continuing to open many doors for her career moving forward. We're going to discuss what her career was again before The Bachelor, what it looks like post-Bachelor, and what she thinks of Joey and her dad both expanding their reality TV careers on Dancing with the Stars and The Golden Bachelorette that, of course, is airing now. Kelsey, thank you for being back on Trading Secrets.
I'm happy to be back.
You're now in LA. We got a lot of action. Joey's on Dancing with the Stars. He's killing it. A lot of people were asking last time we talked. You were in New Orleans. Of course, there was that dumb video that goes viral about Joey living with your roommates.
Yeah.
What does life look like now? Are you still in that same apartment? Are you living out here? What's it look like?
No, Joey and I are here in LA in the Dancing with the Stars apartments.
Cool.
And possibly staying here in LA, we'll see, but looking at, places around, and it's just Joey and I, no roommates, unfortunately.
You miss that life at all or no?
I love being around my girlfriends, so
Yeah.
I mean, it was great, especially because Joey wasn't there most of the time. Like, he was always traveling, I was always traveling, so it was nice to come back and be able to have that time with my friends.
Yeah.
But everyone's different, but I liked it.
What's it like? So obviously you're in LA, you're in the big city, the big spotlight, and I learned a lot of things about you at dinner. I had the pleasure, everybody back home, of having dinner with the one and only Mark, your father on Golden Bachelorette, and yourself. I learned a lot of things, and one of the things I learned was how small of a town you grew up in.
Yes.
That you guys, for fun, like literally for fun, you would go party or like run down the aisles of Walmart. Like, tell me more about that.
Yeah, it was like there wasn't really much to do in Leesville, Louisiana. So either people went to Walmart or like hung out at Sonic for fun. I remember after like prom one year, I think it was prom, we had our after party in a barn, like a literal barn.
Wow.
Like, it is a little bodunk, but
How
I
many
love
people
it.
did you graduate with?
200, but
Okay.
it's because the military base is like right off, like the military base and then Leesville are like, they all are kind of combined. So there's a lot of kids that come in from the military.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't think that they would have more than probably like 20 people in the school.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then so you were in Germany, though. I also learned this,
Yes.
for 6 years.
Yes.
And your dad was telling me when he served at the Army, it was 3 years. He extended for another 3 years. And it was the day before the 6th year, they're like, we cannot extend you anymore.
Yeah.
And he said he was ready to retire there. Him and your mother were going to retire there and just be done. They loved it.
Yeah.
What years did you live there? How old were you?
I think I was like till 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
Maybe a little longer.
So
Maybe
it's
a
like
little
it's like a
later.
far memory for you living in Germany.
I vividly remember Germany. Yeah.
Really?
And also, I mean, my eldest brother, Pascal, he's my half brother.
Yeah.
His mom is German, so he was raised there until he lived there till 20. He has dual
Gotcha.
citizenship and everything. So we went back because my cousin, for her wedding, but also, I don't know, I feel like Germany is just like so connected in my life through my dad's bilingual, my uncle's bilingual, my cousin, she's half German, my brother's half German, so.
I feel like I learned a lot of things about you last night.
Yeah.
And one of the other things, because I'm sure people have a lot of interest in your family now. You got both you two on reality TV. You had all different kinds of animals. Like,
Yes.
to tell everybody just the wide array of animals you had.
We had chinchillas, hedgehogs, dogs, cats, bunnies, rats, lizards.
Didn't you get owls too?
Yeah, there was a snow owl that got hit by a car, and
Yeah.
it was in a box on the side of the road, and my mom picked it up and was rehabilitating it. But yeah, my mom was just like that. Same with the hedgehogs. We would take in hedgehogs during the winter whenever they would, or during the, whenever they would get caught in our yard. And my mom would catch them, and then she would bring them to the vet, and then she would get them de-ticked and put them back out into the wild.
Wow.
But there was one hedgehog that it was about hibernation time, and it was too skinny, the vet said. And so she was like, you have to keep it, otherwise it's going to die during hibernation. So we got to keep this hedgehog during the winter. And it was so cute. Like, their bellies are so soft, and they just curl up, and they're adorable with their little noses. But yeah.
It was like a zoo in your house.
100%.
Where'd you
My mom
keep
would-
all these animals?
My mom would take in anything, like any injured animal, anything. She would take in. And so I know the responsibility of an animal. That's why I don't have any right now.
Yeah.
I love animals. I got bit by a dog actually in college. And so I've been a little bit hesitant towards dogs since that. But I'm slowly trying to push my boundaries, and not be so scared about dogs.
Yeah.
but some dogs kind of scare me still. But I love animals. I know the responsibility. That's why Joey and I are waiting to get any kind of pets until we're, a little bit more settled down.
Yeah. That time will come for sure. So now, I mean, you work your way into project management. On our last episode, you talked about how in that role you can make around $50,000.
Yeah.
You then go on The Bachelor. You end up with Joey. I mean, so many things. And now your career's taking a wild turn. New York Fashion Week. You're walking down the runway. You're doing modeling, all types of things. We'll get into those. But when you were a kid, like, what was your dream? What did you want to do for work?
I wanted to be a race car driver.
Get out of here. Really? Where the hell did that come from?
I don't know.
You might be the most interesting person in the world. Like, what?
I don't know why. But I remember, I also remember I wanted a bright orange pickup truck. I don't know why.
Okay.
But I don't know. I thought that just seemed really cool. And then I actually was driving a standard car up until I left Louisiana. So, I got that little feeling of a race car driver, but I would love to, maybe try that out one day.
Race car driving. That is unbelievable. And here you are. So you're in LA. You guys are now living in the Dancing with the Stars headquarters. Talk to us a little bit about like the logistics. Like, is it a 2-bedroom place? Like, what's the setup like? Do you get a car? Like, how does the food situation look? Like, behind the scenes of what life looks like out here for you guys.
Yeah, we pretty much have I would say it's like a long-term hotel.
Okay.
It's got a kitchen, a full kitchen, a living room, 1 bedroom, a nice little walk-in closet, full bathroom. But yeah, I think that obviously we're just staying there for Dancing with the Stars. Afterwards, we're going to move into like our own place. But we get a car. We have a little RAV4.
Cool.
And what else? We have a full kitchen, but Joey and I have been so busy these past 2 weeks that we've barely used it. Like, I made him some pasta one night, but it's honestly mainly been ordering food. But we're trying to get out of that and get into a more like routine. Maybe just like Sundays we cook a bunch of food and meal prep, because LA is the best place to be able to live where I'm ordering food all the time because they have so many healthy options.
Yeah, so many.
But in Louisiana, it's like I would not be able to do this. I would not be able to order food every night. Otherwise, I would be having to buy new pants every week.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, LA, it's like a very healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's different. You guys are talking about after the show staying in LA or New York City.
Yeah.
Those are, that's about as, they're big cities,
very
but
different.
they're very different, very far apart.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the decision making and where do you think you'll end up? But what's going into the decision making?
It's funny. LA is like so long and New York is so tall, but I love New York. Like, I love the hustle and bustle of a city like New York. I've always just been drawn to it. I talked about New York to Joey on the show, like how I wanted to live there one day. I've always wanted to live there. But with Dancing with the Stars, we had to move to LA. And Joey loves tennis, golf, surfing. He loves that Hawaii lifestyle and being outdoors. And New York doesn't really give that to him. So we're thinking about both options, but I think we're probably leaning more towards LA right now.
Okay.
I am trying to give it a chance and see how I like it, but I know that Joey would be a lot happier here, and I also have to take him into consideration. I can't just be like, you're coming to New York, because I know he would if I, really was set on it. But I want him to be happy too. And so far, I like LA, so we'll see. And especially if we're close to the beach, because I love the beach.
Okay, I like it. So maybe a little compromise, but in a perfect world, New York would be like your dream then.
Yes, but also Joey was like, let's go like every month for a week. Let's go to New York. Or he's like, I still want you to get that like taste of New York.
Yeah.
So we'll see how we figure it out and how we kind of navigate doing both. It's hard because the flight's like a couple hours and everything, and time difference and all that. So we'll see how it works. But I was there for New York Fashion Week, and honestly, it was a great taste of it. I was there for the whole week, and I really enjoyed myself. But also, it was nice to kind of like get back to LA and like slow things down for a second.
For sure. Like, it's a good change of pace for you. When you think about New York, I'm going to come back to Dancing with the Stars and some of the things that you're going through, thinking about, some of your predictions. We'll get into that. But let's go to New York. You were there for New York Fashion Week. You walked for Sherry, right?
Yes.
Which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you were at all different types of events. You think about back when you were on this episode, I don't know, it was probably 4 months ago, and you talked about you're making $50K, you'll see what the world will bring to you.
Yeah.
That couple weeks, I'm sure you made close to that. I don't want to guess, but like, what does life look like from a career perspective, and how lucrative was that, and what direction does that now make you feel like you're on, given where you were before and what you're doing now?
Yeah, I think that I love project management. I know that some people are like, why are you like so obsessed with project management? But I don't know. I really enjoyed the routine of it all, and like the way that it was a routine, but it also switched up almost every single day because the progress of the projects changed. And then you get to like have that satisfaction of closing something and moving on to another thing.
Sure.
But I don't know. It's like with these opportunities now, Joey and I are both like wanting to embrace it. I think anybody in this situation would totally like want to dive in and, you know, see what there is to offer and you know, make the most of it. I think that we're really lucky because of like the support we have and all the people that, you know, love us, that we're able to do these things and make like good money. So I think that we're trying to focus on maybe building to something else, whether that's a business, whether that's a coffee shop, something that, you know, even when all this fades, like we can still have like a consistent, you know, stream of income with something else.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. I paused school for a second. I'm back in it now. But still trying to get, you know, my degree in project management. It just, things were so crazy for a second. I had to pause, and I like went to part-time with my job, and I had to quit because you can't juggle all this. Yeah. It's a lot. And I think people don't realize like the behind the scenes of a lot of this stuff.
But you're like, it's interesting to hear about that career track and obviously the passion you have for it and the school that you want to go to it. When you're starting to see this space though, and some of the money that comes with it, and some of, you know, you got asked to walk that, walk on the Fashion Week. There's got to be a part of you that's like, fuck project management.
Yeah.
Like where is that career direction of Kelsey's head right now?
I think that project management is like, as a career is on pause, but I'm still learning a lot. I think that the things that you learn through project management, you learn about like, you know, schedules and how to be organized and get things done in a timely manner and efficiently. So I think that I learned so much through that I put in my everyday life with my schedules and everything. So it's like I still am doing like, you know, a little project management, you know, in my day-to-day, just very different now. But yeah, I'm not looking at starting that job up in the next like year or two. Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm focusing on what I'm doing now. I think that modeling was really fun. Yeah. And I think that I don't really know that much about it. I'm trying to learn, talking to people that are, you know, signed to agencies. I think that's really exciting. But yeah, project management, construction project management is put on pause.
Okay, construction management put on pause. Yeah. You walk down that runway, starting to touch the modeling world a little bit. Yeah. There are some of these modeling specific agencies. If you could manifest something in the modeling world when it comes to your career, like what would be the dream in the modeling world for Kelsey?
Oh, I don't know. I think that just being on a billboard somewhere would be really cool.
Is there like a certain brand or certain magazine or certain company?
Oh yeah, Sports Illustrated was recently, and I was looking at all of these. I know a lot of girls that have done Sports Illustrated now, and so I just think that would be fun. It seems more like not so serious. Like it seems like really fun and exciting and whimsical in a way. So I think that would be really fun. Also, you know, showing like a sexy side, because I feel like I'm very goofy and like weird. That sometimes it's hard for me to like be like, oh, I also have this side of me. So I think that would be fun to, you know, dip my toe into for sure.
Okay.
And maybe a lot of people say like Victoria's Secret bombshell, like whenever I post things with like my big hair and everything, I think something with that would be really cool too.
Okay, there you go. You got to manifest
I think those are my two ones.
Put it out. Now, one of the things is when you manifest those things and you put them out, you're going to get people that are like, yeah, let's do it.
Also the people that are like,
you took the words from my mouth. You're also going to get the haters. Last time we talked, you had said, like, there's been a lot of noise in your DMs or in your comments. Like, do you really have a job? Like, what are you doing for work? You're starting to see, I mean, your social media is growing at a fantastic rate. You're getting great opportunities. People are looking at, like, the biggest and best brands in the world are looking to partner with you. Yeah. So when you see those things, like the negativity that will come with some of these things, where is your head at now versus where it was like 4 months ago?
Honestly, I think that it was hard at the beginning, and I like feel like I've been adjusting to it really well. It's so funny sometimes to like see the DMs, because I'll look through my requests sometimes, and like I got one the other day, and it honestly like actually made me laugh out loud, because it was just somebody DM'd me, "I hate you," and I was like, okay, like. Okay, like what? Like it was just very to the point, and I loved that. But I mean, I think that with anything, people are going to hate on you. Honestly, I think that just shows that you're, you know, you're making.
So you're getting better at just being like, I see it for what it is.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in my mind, I'm like happy people don't comment mean things. People even like some girl was like so pretty until you smile with your gums or something like that, and I'm just like, I don't know. It's just crazy to me that people think that they need to say those things. Like you could have just kept that in your head.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Have you got, this has happened to me, I would say over the last like 2 years it's happened a lot. So it's taken a long time of being in this space for this to happen. But I get people that are trolls under troll accounts that send me DMs, and the things that they're sending me are quite personal. Like, how the fuck do you know that? And I'm like, this has got to be someone in my camp or someone else's camp or someone that's connected to my circle in some capacity. Have you got anything like that yet?
Yeah, I got something during the show of someone talking about me, and it was like they knew parts of my previous relationship, but parts they didn't. And so like they were piecing things together that like it was like partial truths, and then partial I was like, all right, that's not true. But it's like I know that it's probably like a friend of, you know, my ex, like a friend of a friend of my ex, because I was like, that's just doesn't add up, and I know that he would never have said any of that. But I got that, and then also more recently it was like I was in a DJ booth with somebody, and like they were commenting under Joey's Instagram being like, Kelsey was real snuggly up with the DJ, and I was like, oh God. I was in this area with a bunch of other people, and I told Joey, I was like, I don't know what this is, and he was like, people are always going to try and
he
like
doesn't. He's
get
not
in everyone's heads or whatever. But I was like, I literally was just, I was right next to Charity and Dalton, and then the DJ was like kind of next to me. It was just so funny.
So stupid. All right, that's a good connection, the idea of noise, to where we're at now. So a new career journey for Joey brings you to LA. I would say the number one question that was submitted, I see it on the comments all the time, especially Bachelor Nation, man. They are passionate, but everyone is worried about what is Kelsey's take on Joey being on Dance with the Stars. And just the art of dancing could be, you know, you got to have chemistry to succeed. Like, that's part of it. Like, where is the baseline? Where's the foundation? The true Kelsey? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think that Jenna needs to stop touching my man. Okay? No, I think it's funny to me. People are like, oh my gosh, they're like, why is she touching Joey like that? Or why is she touching Joey? And I'm like, they have to touch each other to dance and like to win. And I think that Joey, you know, is just so reassuring in our relationship that I don't need to wonder or guess. Or I've always been in relationships where I fully trust the guy that I'm with, and Joey is just the most amazing person, and I fully trust him. Also, Jenna's married and has a cute little baby, and I met them before any of this came out and all of this. And yeah, I don't know. I think that it's funny that people are so concerned about like them dancing together, but I don't know. I'm very secure in my relationship, and I'm just taking it at what it is. They're dancing together, and Joey's gonna beat everybody and win.
Let's go. Kelsey, by the way, we were at the show last night. Kelsey's a very intense cheerleader. I mean, I was like, I had to catch you 4 times. I almost got hit in the face a few times. Let me ask you this, though. It's another thing I talked to Joey with when he was on the show, so we know that you know, you feel very secure in the relationship. Has it, people, we even talked to Charity and Don, have talked about it, it's taken a little bit of a strain. Have you felt like any strain whatsoever?
I mean, obviously, like, I'm reading all these comments like, oh my gosh, Kelsey, like, like, why is she touching him like this? And I'm like, oh, am I seeing something that, like, am I not seeing something that everyone else is? Yeah, and I'm like questioning myself.
I get that.
And like, but I just, like, I'm able to bring it up to Joey, and he reassures me or like talks to me in a way like, oh, like, you know, that's this or this is that, or like Jenna feels this way, or like we have to do this for this, or, you know, like they're doing the rumba coming up, and that is a more like sensual dance or whatever, but it's like that is the way that the dance has to be. The choreography has to be in a way, so I'm not worried about it. Like, he spends 4 hours about practicing every day at this point, but then like he spends all the other 20 hours with me. It's weighted out. So we're good.
And I mean, just behind the scenes, I could speak to it, like the attentiveness with Joey and with yourself. Like while you guys are performing, the whole time he's looking at you, he's talking to you, sign language. You went back a few times. Like it's, I mean, I think it takes two in a journey like this to be all in and be supportive, and you both so are. And so let's just clear the air with all those people and those comments.
Yeah, we're good, guys.
Things are good. Don't you worry. You talked about...
They look alike.
Yeah.
That would be weird.
I love it. Let's talk about this, though. So you talk about the the idea of, you said, like, I've always trust the guys that you're with. You said that. We've learned a lot about Joey and his dating history, right? You know, all this stuff. We haven't really heard much of yours. And last night when we had drinks, a comment you made is like, you pride yourself on, you pick the good guy.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
A lot of people listen to this, don't pick the good guy, don't pick the good girl.
Yeah.
So you're telling me, like, never, when you look back at your relationships, you never did you have the guy that lied or was a bad guy or anything like that?
No.
Okay, what's the trading secret?
The trading secret, I mean, for me, I know that I had a really great male role model to look up to my whole life. And my mom always told me, like, you deserve the best. You deserve men that, you know, treat you right, respect you. And I just really, like, took that. And I don't know, I like boys that, or men that, you know, show me that they appreciate me, because I want to show them that. I think that it's like reciprocation of, like, I show you how much I care and love about you, and you do the same for me. I don't know. I think that it's like mutual respect.
Yeah.
And I have a really good gut, and I feel like initially when I meet a guy, like, I can know, like, you know, feel it out.
Just like feel it out.
Yeah, and I don't know. I've always just been drawn to nice boys.
Yeah, listen
to your gut. And Joey is the epitome of that. He's the best.
The epitome of that. Yeah. When did, like, you talked about they need to show you appreciation, and then you in return show the appreciation, and you just trust your gut.
Yeah.
When was it? I don't know if on this podcast we talked about it, but when was it, during The Bachelor or after The Bachelor? It's got to be during, you got engaged, that you're like, that's it. Was there one moment?
Well, it's funny. The first conversation we had, it was so awkward because because I was, like, towards the end of the night of the first night conversations. I think it was 3 a.m. whenever we had a conversation.
Actually,
and so I was pretty tired, but also, like, I was hearing all these girls coming back into the room being like, I kissed him, I kissed him. I was like, this man's getting around. And so whenever we were talking, I was not making eye contact with him. I was, like, looking down. I was like, this man better not kiss me, because I've heard he's kissed, like, all these other girls. And we're not having that today. And so I was, like, really awkward. And then the second date, it was, like, very natural.
Okay.
I really leaned into it. We were doing, like, physical activity things, and it was just really fun. I really enjoyed laughing with him and getting to know him a little bit more. So I think that was the first moment that I was like, oh, I'm crushing on him a little bit. It was like maybe the second time we had hung out. And then I probably knew, I would say Rhonda.
Okay.
Like in Spain.
Okay.
Whenever we had our first one-on-one.
That was it.
Yeah.
You're like, that's the guy.
I was like, things would have to go pretty wrong for me to feel differently about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like the energy he gave me, and like I feel like with Joey, whenever he talks to you, he like really is engaged in the conversation, and he gives you his full attention.
Yep.
And I love that, because I try to do that. I know with my ADHD, sometimes it's hard, and I've like tried and really put an effort in whenever I'm talking to people or people are talking to me, to really like engage and like listen to them, and not just like always relate, but like just listen to them and understand.
I've actually, so I have ADHD too.
Yeah.
Are you diagnosed with ADHD?
Yeah.
Okay. And I see a psychologist that specializes in ADHD. And it's so interesting you brought this up, because ADHD, the way it plays into work, but also relationships, is fascinating. Is there anything you've learned about ADHD in relationships that like you've had to change because you know you have it?
Yeah, I think that for me, I just want to like blurt out in the middle of a conversation, like whatever is thoughts in my head. And what's helped me a lot, which this is just for me, and I did it for myself, like learned to do it myself. Whenever a thought pops in my brain that I'm like, ooh, I really want to say this. Instead of immediately blurting it out, I'll do the sign language of the first letter of what I'm thinking of.
Interesting.
So if I'm like, oh, I want to talk about these animals, I like do an A in my hand, and I keep it right here until he's done talking, and then I'll be like, A, animal. Oh, I wanted to tell you about this animal.
Wait, do you know sign language too?
I just know the alphabet.
It's your, wow.
Yeah.
What other random stuff's on your resume? That's a good tactic, though.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else for anyone home, whether it's dating, whether it's at the workplace, of the idea of trying to stay present when your brain's racing?
I think like what I said, like put a thought to the side, like however that is, if you like need to write down like something like, oh, I'll talk about this right after, or if it's like something as simple as like doing a letter of sign language in your hand. But that's what helps me a lot, not to blurt out and like interrupt them in mid-conversation. And because I think that then it kind of makes them feel like, oh, they're not actually listening, but it's like I am, but my brain's like all over the place always. Also, I think that, and I don't know if this is ADHD or if this is just like everybody, but I think that people don't always have to relate to people. Like, for example, if somebody told me that their mom had passed away, like I don't have to be like, oh, my mom passed away too. I can just be like, oh, like that stinks for you. Like, let me hear more about it. Because I think sometimes it almost like it's like, oh, I've been through the same thing. Because it's like no one's been through the same thing. Because we all perceive things differently and have different life experiences. So I can't ever be like, oh, I fully relate to you in this. But I can be like, I've been through something similar.
Yeah.
But I can't be like, I've been through the same thing.
Totally.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I understand. I think in relationships and at work, it's like when someone says that, right? So someone says a statement or something about how they're feeling, the ADHD brain is like, it almost always wants to come back with like, oh, great, like this is what I'm feeling.
Yes,
or like,
exactly.
or like they want the answer. And something I've had to like actively work on is stop and repeat back what the person's saying to me so they know that I'm hearing them, and then let them be heard and then do it, because their brains move at such fast, like crazy speeds.
Right.
So I feel that. I know that. We've talked about The Bachelor, talked about ADHD. We're talking about dating. We got to transition to your dad. So your dad is now going on The Golden Bachelorette, which is airing right now. When your dad was presented with the opportunity from ABC, what were your initial thoughts about it?
So it's funny, the producers actually came to me and were like, do you think that your dad would do this? And I was like, he better.
Yeah.
I think my dad has had trouble dating since my mom has passed, because he doesn't want to feel like he's replacing her.
Interesting.
But my mom always wanted him to find somebody if she passed before him. She always like vocalized that to like us and to him. So I'm really excited for my dad to just really push himself and, just dive into it, see if this could be his person, see if, it's not. And I think that if anything, I think that this just is really going to help him through him still grieving like my mom and like trying to not necessarily move on, but like find another partner, because I think that he deserves that. He deserves love. He deserves, somebody that's there for him when his kids aren't, in a different way.
Sure. Is that hard for you? Like, is it hard to see your dad possibly date someone else knowing everything?
I definitely think it's going to be weird.
Yeah.
I think that he is the most amazing man, though, and I love him so much, and I want him to be happy. Yeah. And I don't want him to feel lonely, because sometimes like whenever we're doing things, I know that he kind of feels like he's like by himself. Yeah. Like if it's like me and my siblings, like, or with their significant others or whatever, I just like, I don't, or like with my uncle and my aunt, I'm like, I want him to feel like, he has a person too, and he doesn't need it, but like I know that he wants it too. Yeah,
that's so sweet.
Yeah,
it's like your mom is like living in you and her to like just be like have that companion. Yeah. I think that's beautiful. What advice do you have then for, let's think about anybody that's back at home that's had to deal with the loss of a parent and or is seeing one of their single parents trying to find happiness. Yeah. You clearly have such a grounded, pure, authentic take on it. I think a lot of people would get territorial, and you just want to see happiness. What advice do you have for people like that?
I mean, just think about them, because I think that a lot of times we get like territorial, or we get like, like frustrated, or like, oh, why are they doing that? Because we're thinking about ourselves and like the way we feel about it, but you also have to think about like their feelings in it all. Yeah. And like, it's been 6 years since my mom's passed, and although like I know that his heart's never going to be fully healed from that, I think that there is a little bit of healing in him finding another partner and like experiencing life with another partner in that way. So,
I actually asked what Joan was on, and I asked her that. I was like, I feel like it's such a different ball game for you, because you have to see if people have been like healed enough to move on. Yeah. Because there's been a lot of divorce and loss when we saw the first episode. And she's like, she kind of checked me a little bit. She's like, you don't have to fully move on. Yeah. You don't have to fully grieve. Yeah. Like, you can still have presence of someone else, but know that you're looking for happiness in a companion, which is why I think like your tears, your emotion, these stories, that's why I think this is such a beautiful show. It's like people that have seen life and seen like the lowest of like lows and still find happiness in their own way, which is absolutely beautiful. Yes, 100%. We don't know what happens with your dad. We'll see what does.
I'm nervous.
But I just want to ask you this question. He does not end up with Joan. All I'm going to ask you is one question. Would you want him to be the Golden Bachelor?
I think that I would just want him to do whatever he feels is right. Like, if I think that I know he had a great experience on it. Yeah. And if he feels as though he could, do that. Yeah. Do it. Okay. But I don't know. I know it can be hard, and it's a lot of time and effort and energy. So Yeah, and I know Joey's like kind of like about
boy.
it. He's
Yeah.
like, because of his experience.
Imagine if there was two bachelors, but who knows?
Right.
Mark is a fan favorite out there, so that is just super exciting stuff. You got 3 reality TV stars. Let's talk about you then. I mean, when you look at your future in reality TV, obviously dating shows aren't on the horizon. Those days are done.
Why?
But you're like, wait a second, what?
Wait, what?
But competition shows, like we see Joey on Dance with the Stars. Is Dancing with the Stars something you would ever want to do? Are there other shows that you have your eye on? What does it look like?
Yeah, I don't think that Dancing with the Stars is something I'd ever want to do. I think that Joey's perfect for it. He's got great footwork with tennis and all of these things. But I did dancing growing up and I was horrible. Like those videos of me in my recital are never to be seen. Like, it is so bad. I would forget dances after like practicing for months learning them. So I can't imagine learning one in a week and trying to do it. I think my anxiety also would just be like, oh hell no, like shut down.
Yeah.
But I think Joey's great for that. But I would definitely love to do like something else. Maybe like I'm very competitive.
Okay.
So maybe something else in the
There's a lot of competitive
world.
shows out there. You got one maybe in mind?
I don't know, like what is it? Traders?
Traders is a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. That's a good one. There's a lot of Bachelor alums. So, hey, put it out there. They might give you a call.
Yeah.
I did hear that the Dancing with the Stars, I think it's the Dancing with the Stars casting director cast for that show.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So maybe put a word in there.
I know. Also, there's that one where they like do like the crazy things. Like JoJo Siwa was on it, where she did like walking on a line or something.
Yeah, it's the Navy SEAL show.
Yeah, I think that would be crazy. I think that I would probably be crying a lot on it, kind of like The Bachelor.
That's what it is. Yeah.
I think I'd probably be crying on it a lot, but I would love to do it.
There you go. You never know.
As well.
All right, we're on Dancing with the Stars still, so let's stay with it.
Yes.
Top 4, give me your predictions. We just heard them from Jenna. We got them from Joey. What are top 4 predictions look like from you?
Joey winning.
Love, let's go. Put it out there.
I think Chandler. I think... Steven?
Mm-hmm. I think so you got Joey, Chandler, Steven. Who else?
I'm trying to think of... Oh, I think Alona.
Alona.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That was the same prediction as Jenna, other than she's got Dwight Howard in for Alona. So,
I could see him doing... and also Jed, and also, like, I'm like, I could see everybody up there.
So that's exciting stuff.
Yeah.
All right. I know I've seen some of your, in preparation for this, we have some of your deals that I'm seeing here. There's a lot of action. You're going VIP to a lot of places. You got some brand trips coming up. You have even a couple big, long year partnerships. Can you give us... You got a couple covers coming, or you had a cover, give us a little tease as to what we can expect from you professionally, things in the pipeline, things to look forward to.
You might start seeing me in a certain store.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. It's really exciting. I think that...
Like a retail store.
Like a retail store, like a major retail store.
I like how I know. And I'm like, can you give me that?
Maybe.
All right.
But I don't know. It's honestly crazy to me whenever I found out about this like long-term, like year-long deal with major retail store.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly got like emotional because I'm like, never in my like wildest dreams did I ever think that anything like this would happen.
Sure.
And I just like, I feel like I just keep saying like, Joey and I want to like ground ourselves like so much throughout all of this and like remember like, like what we kind of like came from in a way, which is so weird to say. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I'm just like, I'm very thankful because I know that I'm thankful for the show. I'm thankful for all the people that support us because I know that without any of that, like we would literally like, I would still be working as project manager.
Yeah.
Which I loved, but
Yeah. I get it. I mean, it's unbelievable what the show's done. Here
Yeah.
you are. When you think about, obviously, you're starting to build your own brand. Joey and I have joked around and said he's the reality star this second, but we all say that Kelsey's the long-term star here. You're killing it with everything you got going. Where do you, and now you're carving out your own lane.
Yeah.
You're doing podcasts by yourself. You got your own
my
lines
first one, I
coming.
think.
Let's go. You're killing it. Where do you see? Give me the trajectory. People that love you and they're following you and listening to you right now, like, where do you want to take your career? 3 years, 5 years, and how do you want to build your own independent track with it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I love being myself. I love being silly and goofy, and I love making videos like that. But also, I think that my little taste that I got with the Sherry Hill show, I literally got asked to do it the night before, and I got thrown into it. I never have learned to like walk in a fashion show or anything like that. So that was really exciting, and it was honestly like an adrenaline rush that I was like, I just really loved. I think that modeling could be fun to dip my toe into, but also, I don't know. I want to talk more about like grieving as well, and how that process was for me, and healing through it all, or trying to navigate like grief, and how it's like never ending. You know, I think that something like that would be really cool. Modeling, and maybe opening up like a little coffee shop or something.
Interesting, really.
Joey and I were talking about it. Like, I don't know. I think it would be
That would
fun.
be cool. Like we saw the Vanderpump Girls did a sandwich shop or something.
Yeah.
Maybe a little coffee shop.
Yeah, maybe podcasts with Joey. Maybe I don't know.
I would love if you guys did a podcast.
I'm like, I feel like that's so like stereotypical. Like we get out of
but
a reality
whatever.
TV
Do
show,
your
we start a
thing.
podcast. Next, we're gonna be DJs.
Do you think you would, like, if you did a podcast, what do you think would you want to cover Bachelor? What would you want to do?
I don't know. I mean, I think that like a little bit of Bachelor, but I think that we also are like a lot more than the Bachelor. Sorry, I got lightheaded for a secad.
No, take your time. You're good. This is our ADHD. That's how it works. Literally, you could have, like, I'm telling you, this is how my brain works. I could have 15 thoughts, and then 1 second I'm like, oh, lightheaded.
Yeah,
oh, tired.
right.
Oh, it's just how we work. Now you guys are getting exposure to it. It's a wild brain we have.
But
it lets us do cool things.
Yes, it does.
Like, it's got a lot of weaknesses, but it's got a lot
literally,
of
Joey,
strengths.
sometimes like your brain is so fascinating.
That one, I get it.
But yeah, I think that there's so many things that I'm like looking at, but I want to definitely, I think that that's my ADHD brain too, that I'm like, let's do everything.
Yeah. I know.
Podcast, this.
I know.
But I think that like really trying to focus on a couple of things to really put like my energy and time into would be nice. But yeah, maybe a podcast with Joey about, maybe like I could do the pop culture kind of stuff and he could do something more of like guy sensitive things. I don't know yet. We've literally like barely talked about it.
So maybe your own podcast, maybe one together.
Yeah, we'll
see.
Yeah, I think that I need him to ground me in the podcast as well.
I think you guys would be good co-hosts.
I feel like I'd be like, and
You have
that
good
and Joey would be like,
Joey would be like, okay, let her do it. This is her thing. Let her go. Let her go. Like, you could just see it. I could see it right now. All right, so cool things coming up. Let's talk a little bit of money. Career earnings have changed a little bit. Do you, we won't get into too much of the specifics, but like, is there anything like big that you've bought in the last 3 to 6 months if things have changed? Is there any type of relationship with money that's changed? Talk to me about your take on any changes with money management in the last like 3 to 6 months.
Nothing too crazy. I mean, my savings is looking, a little juicier, I'd say. But no big purchases. I think that whenever I do purchase a car, it's still going to be very, modest, very mindful because mindful, very demure. Yep. Because like, I don't know. I think that that's how that's how people keep their money, is they don't just are frivolous and like spending it on like a Lamborghini or something that I can't fully afford,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that just kind of living like how I used to. Honestly, I'm just consistent. I'm staying the same. I'm not like buying all these designer bags that I, all of a sudden can or whatever. I think that just like staying the same and living life kind of similarly.
You Joey, you guys are living in the same place now when it comes to like money management as a relationship. Do you guys have any rules of thumb, any systems that work? Is it kind of like, you pick up this one, I'll pick up this one? Like, how do you guys talk about money? It's one of the hardest things to do in a relationship. Yeah,
I think that we just kind of are back and forth with things. Like, I'm like, oh, let me go grocery shopping. Do you need anything? He'll get dinner, He usually always gets dinner, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But sometimes I try to buy it.
There you go. Pick up a drink once in a while.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Good stuff. Well, Kels, I think you have so many things like going on and what's going to, like, I think this is just the start. I think there's a lot of action out there. I think people just stay tuned because there's some shit going on. And for those people that were chirping you about what's your career track, they're seeing it now and they're going to continue to see it in the future. All right, let's do the last thing. What do you think, like, you think about a career tombstone, okay? So it's like one thing on your resume that in the next 3 to 5 years, you want to be like, I did this. What is that one thing? You could take your time with it. One career tombstone that you're like, I would love if I did. This.
The first, I don't know. There's so many things. I think that one of the things that's popping in my head is like Sports Illustrated. I think that would be really fun.
Okay.
I just think it'd be cool, and for Joey to like watch me strut because he didn't get to see Sherry Hill because he was training. So I think something like that would be really fun. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll put it out there. We'll see what happens. It is fascinating. We released the episode in June. We recorded it in May. We're now into September, and to see how much has changed. So much has changed in 3 to 4 years. Last one I got, 1 year from now, because we'll look back on this and see how the prediction was. Where are you living? 1 year.
1 year?
1 year.
Probably LA.
1 year. Okay. Gotcha. And then the last question, I know you guys have wedding planning on pause, but someone submitted, do you want to have like a big banger of a wedding when it comes, or do you want to have like a small little elope type session?
Honestly, I want like our actual wedding to be like more intimate, small, and not like crazy, but I want our reception to be like a club.
Okay,
like
got
I want it to be the biggest party. I think Joey wants the same. It's like we want like what's important, like we're actually getting married or anything, but the afterwards like just a party.
Yeah,
we just want to celebrate like our love that we got here from this crazy story. You know, just like what are the odds kind of thing. Which actually, someone told me the odds recently. And
They're low.
The odds aren't great.
You guys are defying those.
Yeah, we're defying gravity.
I love it. You guys are defying those. And you know what? At that Rager, you are going to have your work cut out with you keeping up with them on the dance floor. You're going to have to give Val a call and get some lessons. Because
Val said he would teach me a little bit, but I think I need to get my own full-time lessons. Like I think that might be my job right now because I need to keep up with Joey a little bit.
Here we go. Last prediction. Final two. Who is he standing next to? 'Cause I know you're going to say Joey.
Yeah, Joey and...
Hear it.
Let me think. And Chandler.
All right. If you're right, I'm buying you dinner. We're all rooting for Joey. Just text Joey 21523, right?
Sure.
All right. We got to wrap with your trading secret. What is your trading secret? And let's do it like something you've learned in the last 3 to 4 months because so much has changed for you in the last 3 to 4 months. What would your trading secret be?
Go to the vet even if you're by yourself.
Go to the what?
Like if you have something to go to or whatever, just go by yourself. You don't have to always bring someone.
I thought you said vet. I was like, are we back on the owls?
An event. Like if it's whatever it is, go to the party by yourself. Because for Fashion Week, I was doing a lot of it by myself, just like going to these things. And I met so many people just going up and I was like, I'm here alone, whatever. And I met so many amazing women and guys that I was just like, I feel like it almost made me push myself more to like, outside my bubble. Yeah, and I love it.
I'm going to take your advice on that because I don't think I've ever gone to an event by myself. I always have to bring someone with me. And you're right. When you bring someone with you, it's a crutch. Yeah. I just hang out I don't even talk to anybody because I talk to that person. That's a great trading secret. Go to an event by yourself, not the vet. All right, Kelsey, where can everyone find everything you have going on?
Like my handles and stuff?
Yeah.
My Instagram is Kelsey Anderson. I just got it changed.
There's
no underscores. It's just Kelsey Anderson.
Love. Wait, how'd you do it? Did you have to buy that?
No, someone from
Meta?
No, someone from The Bachelor helped me.
No way.
She changed it for me like in a day.
Hell yeah.
I know. She was like, I was like, this account hasn't been active for like 12 years or something
Yeah.
that had the handle, and she was like, "Oh, we can change it for
I
you."
gotta look, because mine's Jason_Tardik. I gotta look at that. Okay.
You gotta.
Yeah,
So
check that
Kelsey
out.
Anderson. My TikTok is, I think, Kelsey Alexander,
Okay.
and I think that's it.
That's cool.
My phone number. No,
All right, there's Kelsey, everybody. Go follow her, check it out, get ready for this big announcement, and keep voting for Joey, because you got to make sure that her prediction is right. Kelsey, second time by yourself. Thanks for being on Trading Secrets.
Thank you for having me.
Woo!
Get a free emergency